Have you been feeling tireder than normal? Like your battery's just running on empty? I think that could be because you need more rest in your life. You see, the trees all around me, and that you can see in the background there, they know it's winter. They know that the sun doesn't shine for as long, the days are shorter, the nights are longer. The weather is colder, it's dull and grey. They know it's not the best time for growth. And so they go into a form of hibernation through the winter. They lose their leaves and they draw all of their sap down into their roots, ready for the next year of growth, ready for the spring to come. And many of us fail to follow that example that the trees set. You see, we think we should be able to work through winter just as we do through summer, that we should be able to grow, that we should be able to have the same levels of energy. And oftentimes that just isn't the case. We find that we are tireder, that we have less energy, we have less motivation to go out and do things. And a lot of that is probably due to a lack of vitamin D, that good old sunlight hitting our face. We get less of it in the winter. Naturally, we're probably outdoors less than we would be in the spring and summer. And also the sun just isn't as powerful, especially if you're up in the northern hemisphere like me. In the winter, the sun can be pretty few and far between the days that it pops out. It's actually lovely to have it out today. And so, yeah, we don't feel as good as we do in the summer. Quite a few of us struggle from seasonal depression, you know, those long dark nights and cold grey days. They don't do a lot for the soul, do they? And so what could be the cure for that? As I've already mentioned, I think rest is one of the best things that you can do for yourself and just to help get you through those winter months. If you're watching this when it's first posted, it'll likely be towards the end of January, and I think often that is the time that most of us really struggle with, because you know we're put up with this long cold winter, and then we know we've got probably at least another 6 weeks of it to go before things really start to brighten up and the weather starts to change for the better. And rather than trying to cram ourselves, our days, our lives full of stuff that we should be improving, should be optimizing, should be doing better, why not take the rest of the winter as a chance to rest, to slow down, to come back into connection with yourself and prepare yourself for the next season of growth that lies ahead. Prepare yourself for spring. If you'd like to know a bit more about rest and how to implement it into your life in I won't say it's an easy way, because for many of us actually slowing down can be quite challenging, but in a simple way perhaps, then there's a course linked in the description that I've put together, and the first week of that is a 10-week reset to really help you to build some foundational habits in your life that will carry you through, perhaps transform you from this place of tiredness and lack of energy, lack of motivation, to a place where actually you feel really stable and set up in life. It starts with rest, which may seem like a funny place to start for a course on building habits and living a better life, but I think it's really foundational, and I think it's what a lot of us are missing in our life. So as I say, if that sounds of interest, check it out in the description. There's also a free blueprint there which focuses in on some of the other habits that I think can be really key for helping us just to get through the winter and through life really. But coming back onto the topic of rest and how the trees know when it's time to rest. They give themselves permission to shed their leaves, to not do any growing for the winter months, to take what they've done in the last year and to store it down into the ground, ready to burst up again. And I think that's beautiful. I think it's such a lovely metaphor for what winter really should be for us, you know. New Year having just passed, a lot of us take time to think of the previous year, all of our wins, and perhaps some of our losses as well. We contemplate what we've managed to get done and what maybe we didn't get done that we wanted to. And so as we do that, we then begin to set goals for the new year. And for many of us, we often, myself included, I often, you know, have these high and mighty goals for myself, and I sprint off into the new year. And maybe for the first week or two of January, I manage to, you know, that new year momentum carries me through. And then about the third week of January hits, and I'm just like, I'm exhausted, I'm burnt out, I haven't got anything left in the tank. And that cycle, I've noticed, I've repeated it several years in the past, and the best way I have found of getting around that is, rather than focusing on how quickly you can change, is actually how consistently you can change. You see, when we start to implement those New Year habits, and I really do think rest should be one of yours, it's definitely been one of mine this year, is to rest more, but actually building it into your day in a very sustainable and easy way. Just 15 minutes of rest per day. Intentional rest, that is, you know, time where you intentionally sit and slow down, perhaps do something that you enjoy, maybe read a book or play your favourite video game, anything that just relaxes you, slows you down, and gives you that peace and that space to reflect and perhaps to process some of the things going on in your life. For me, winter provides us with this fantastic opportunity to slow down and to rest more. But many of us try and go at it in the same way we do the summer. We think that we have to, you know, go into this winter arc and come out in the spring just a completely different person. And I often find that just it never really works, and it's never worked for me. The things that have worked for me have been building consistent habits, and that's really what my Simple Living course and the free blueprint are about. It's about building small consistent wins each day, and through that transforming your life slowly and steadily but sustainably. Thanks ever so much for watching, and as I say, if those sound of interest to you, those bits that I spoke about, do check them out in the links below. Until next time, take care, God bless.